Now it's all constant. Oh, hang on. As soon as I start speaking, it fluctuates. Typical, that, isn't it? Right. All I'm going to be doing is doing a quick tutorial. I don't know why I'm doing that, because you're not going to see it because it's all set up for Maya. Right. This is going to be basically going over Maya, its commands, what they do. And that is all I'm going to cover, because I'm not trying to do full-on tutorials or anything like that. So let's go over the basics, the very basics, because 3D apps are very daunting at first. I should know that from experience. So, everyone keeps asking me about door frames, window frames, how I build doors. I always want to state this now, never follow the tutorial, no, streams I've put up, because they're not really good for learning how to build stuff. If that's why you use tutorials, I just build stuff because I can do stuff on the fly and I can just keep going with it, with music in my head and what have you. So in case of this, I'm just going to go over the basics of how I build up, like door frames, window frames, all that kind of stuff, and there's multiple ways of doing it, but I'm just going to do it my way because it's just easier. So your first thing to do is to grab your cube, which is that there, which allows you to build a cube. Now you can do a million of ways. You can double click it, you can set up options, you can set it so it's got different divisions, so you can have like full set and all that. You can change the width and height and the depth of it, change the axis, all of that mumbo jumbo. But I just prefer just sticking it in and just doing it my way, because that's just the way I roll. It's just easier for me, so I'm just going to do that. That's my cube. Okay. Now for the basics of stuff, for doing like rotating around a camera, you hold the Alt button, left Alt. Yeah, because right Alt doesn't do that, just zooms it in even more than it needs to be. Right, F focuses, your left Alt does that, your middle mouse button zooms, goes in that like that. So as long as you know the basic commands, you can just pretty much work your way around it. Anyway, I'm rambling because I want to get a door frame put in. This is not going to be to scale. I don't do stuff to scale. To hell with that. I build it the way I need to. So this is going to be just a basic wall with maybe 2 window frames and a door frame. So how I build door frames is simple, even though I don't have a door to build with. So I'm just going to set an edge loop, which I should really go back and do. Right, so do edge loops. This is this command here, this icon. Obviously doesn't do a double click thing, so basically what you do is you just add it, drag it on, there's your edge loop. Do another one. I do one there. And then you'd be like, well, it looks a bit, small, so this is where you grab your vertices and this is where you drag it in. I'll do a bit of explanation about that now. So when you want to go into vertice mode, you've got like millions of ways of doing it. One of them is to cycle through, which is your F8 key, which you can do with multiple instances. The other is by literally right clicking on your object, holding it, hitting vertex mode, which then switches to vertex editing. So that's how you do those sort of adjustments. And then obviously up and down like that. Adjustments to cycle through all your commands. You've got the option of Q, which is your select tool. You've got W, which is your movement in axis, and then you've got E, which is rotation, even though you would think that would be R, but R is scale. So as long as you remember those, it's easy. Anyway, I'm rambling and going off topic with what I wanted to do. So to build a door frame, like I said, you've got a gazillion ways you can do it. This is just one way you can do it. So highlight the edge, which I should again explain what I'm doing, because right, so right click, got face, that brings you into face mode editing, so you can do this. So what you want to do, get into face mode, and there's another one which is the extrude command. This is how you like extrude faces, you can extrude edges, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. That's your primary building tool. That's how you build door frames, which I'm going to show you to do now. So one way you can do it, one way, yeah, I mean this way would do it. I'm just going to add another set of edge loops. You can do this and follow along if you want. So one way you can do it. Bear with me 1 second. Right, so one way you can do it, doing that, do your extrusion, then obviously hit R to do your scale, or hit the scale button, no matter which one you do, and now move that in and move that in, and you'll notice that there is now a door frame right there. Then I'll hit extrude once more, but in my case you've hit G because that allows you to do the previous action. And there's a door frame right there, and this is another reason why I did it this way, because there's more than one way of doing it. That's one way of doing it. In fact, what I'll do, I'll do that first. I'll just do a quick duplication of that one. I'll explain how to do that in a minute, even though I don't need to. So let me just do this. Now I've missed an edge loop. So this is one quick way of doing it. That's just one quick way. Now let's do another one, and I'll just do a quick duplication of that so I'm not buggering around. So okay, that's good. Nobody's talking yet, which is good. Right, okay. Other way I do it, which is how I do it in all of my streams, is literally I add edge loops in for the top part of the frame, one for the side of the frame, and one side for there. So now when I do this, there's another door frame. So far as you see, we've done two ways of doing door frames, and each one, doesn't matter which way you do it, is still a door frame. There's no right and no wrong way. That one needs a little bit more tweaking, obviously. That one, not so much. So that's two ways. I'm trying to think of the infamous third way I could do that with. Well, I know there is a third way. I might even just do that one now. Right. I don't know if it'll actually work though, but we'll see. So what I'll just do is quickly delete all these edge loops, because there is actually another way of doing all of this. You don't have to do it that way. I'm just going to create a quick just a quick way of doing this. Just bear with me. Right, so the other way of doing it is using Boolean commands to do it. So what you do is you highlight the object there, you highlight the object you want it to intersect, and you go up to the mesh command, the Boolean command, and then go to difference. Exception, you highlight that one first, and there's another door frame. As you can see, that's a door frame there. Might not have all the bits, but it's still a door frame. Delete that. Door frame. So there's more than one way of doing it. So I do it primarily that way. You can do it with Boolean commands. You can do it this way. There is no right and the wrong way of doing it, because everyone's got the wrong way of building up a mesh. So that's just a quick one on door frames. I'm going to create a new scene now. This time we'll cover how to do window frames, which just the same as door frames in principle. So I'll just get the cube built up, because again we're not doing this to scale. This is just me bloody showing stuff and how it can be achieved and all that. So window frames, like I say, can be done in a million different ways. So for example, again, get my edge loops out. I'll put one here. one there, and maybe I'll put one here. Drag that along, then there's that. In fact, I'm going to do this twice because this one will get interesting. Right, I'll drag that along, leave that one there. So here we go, we're building a window frame. So again, go into face mode, grab the face, click your extrude button, and then scale. Now usually what I do now is I actually, like I say, you've got more than one way of doing it. You could easily just do it this way where you push that window in a bit. There's your window frame. You could highlight these edges here, extrude those out, there's your window frame. Let's do it again. So face mode, and once more, window frames. Pretty straightforward, just like a door frame. Well, the reason why I said, you know, this would be interesting is simply because if I add an extra 2 edge loops to here and here, I can do 3 windows now, and you can also do multiple instances. You don't have to just do it one at a time. So again, doing it this way, it does take a bit of practice, but do extrude on all 3. Got your scale, but don't do it all at once, so just drag them down, then highlight them individually and drag them along. Then that way you've got 3 individual ones. Then if you want to do multiple instances of grabbing, like I say, you don't have to do them all like one at a time like this. There is quicker ways, which I'm going to do now. So you click on one, double click the intersecting one, and it automatically does all of it at once. Then again, as we know, extrude, 3 window frames. Pretty straightforward, simple as that. No stress, no hassle. And of course, previously from the other one, which I'll just toss in now because let's face it, might as well have done it with door frame. Let's do it for window frame. So we'll Boolean it. So again, create a cube. It don't matter what size the cube is, because like I say, just as you go along, put that in there, and then just go, of course, mesh your Boolean difference, window frame. Of course, it's based on length, so you know you can easily delete that. Then there's that, and then of course, if you want to try and emulate what you did over there, just do that. Then window frame. Obviously exactly the same over here, just did it with a Boolean thing. Easy doing it that way, but everybody's got their own preference for doing it. That's just how I do things. It keeps fluctuating, this bloody thing, but at least it's not probably over here, it's bad. Anyway, I'm rambling. Right, I think what else to cover with this, because like I said, everything is simple once you get your head wrapped around the simple fundamentals. That's just how to do door frames, that's how you do window frames. Pretty straightforward, but as you know, all window frames are different. They're all separate, they all have different types and styles. Suggestion I always do is to look up actual real world references to build windows, because every window is different. You can get a 3-pane window, you can get a 2-pane window, one that's bigger, one that's small at the top. You might have 2 smaller ones that open up. You've got to look at real world to get an idea of how windows work, and then you can build them more efficiently. Same for door frames. That's all I can really do in this, because it's really a simplistic tutorial. I think what I can go over now is with later editions of Maya, which I know because I use the later ones too. Extrude is actually Control E for shortcutting, but we didn't have it in 2012, so we have to actually use the extrude button. But it is there. See, if you wanted to go back to that one from before, there is actually a way you can make that interesting, because you can just... Don't worry, I've gone crazy. So there you extrude that, and then I might just go like that again. Because again, I'm crazy like that, and then I might just decide to push them out a bit. You could easily call it a door frame there, but you know, or a little... Well, does it look that bad? Actually, it doesn't actually look that bad from there. Maybe I'm just... Right, again, either way, it doesn't matter which way you do it. You just build it the way you need to. Follow the basics, follow the basic fundamentals that you've learned from it. Build a cube, do it either with booleans, do it by using edge loops like that. Do it by what I've shown. There is no right, no wrong way to do it. You just build it as you go along, follow what you're trying to build, and stuff starts to click and you start to get more efficient at doing it. That's all I really can say about it.